In this video, we're going to cover proper mounting of the FARO Arm, stability checks, as well as the SPAT test to verify the accuracy of your FARO Arm. Let's start with mounting. In our current setup, we're mounted to a granite cart. Mounting to a granite surface is what's recommended whenever you're doing any type of accuracy check for the FARO Arm. The other mounts for measuring with your FARO Arm are the vacuum mount, the magnetic mount, and the tripod. The most important consideration in any setup is making sure that the FARO Arm is stable before you start measuring. With our setup here, we're fixed right to the granite surface. We have a dial indicator to verify that the arm isn't moving. You don't always need to have a dial indicator to verify that the arm isn't moving. There are other ways to check the stability of your mounting environment, and one is to use the FARO Arm itself. If we start in the software, go to the Measure menu and select Point. With the tip of the probe rested securely within either the calibration cone or within a hole smaller than the diameter of the probe where it can pivot, you want to take a point, record that point, and then we can bring up a digital readout to this point to verify that the arm isn't moving. Let's do that in the software. We have our point recorded. If we highlight the point and select D on the keyboard, we bring up a digital readout for that point. Right now you're seeing XYZ of the deviation of the tip of the probe from that point. If I set the probe in the point, you see it come back to 0. While holding the probe there, if we push on the base of the arm, if there were any instability in our mounting, we would see that register in the numbers on the screen. So by pushing at the base of the arm, checking out the numbers, you can tell whether or not your setup is secure. This is one method for checking the arm stability. If you have any question to the stability of the arm after doing that, you should then go to a dial indicator. We've got a dial indicator set up on the arm just to the left of our setup. With the dial indicator pointed to the base of the arm, you want to move the arm in the opposite direction of the dial indicator. By pulling the arm in the opposite direction, we would see the most movement on the dial indicator. So if there's any instability in our setup, it would now be registering on the dial indicator. With these two checks, you can verify that your setup is secure and accurate. Our next step is to check the accuracy of the arm itself. For that, we use something called a SPAT test. SPAT stands for Single Point Articulation Test, and you can find it in the software under the Devices menu. In the software, go to Device and Device Control Panel. Select Diagnostics, and near the top of the window you see Single Point Articulation Test. Click the button, and now the software is prompting you to collect data. To collect the data for the SPAT test, place the tip of the probe in the calibration cone. Rest the elbow to one side or the other, and make sure it's being supported by its internal counterbalances. We're going to capture 10 points, sweeping the arm from one elbow position to the other. Capture the points with the green button. Gently support the arm with your hand. And collect 10 points as you sweep through that arc. When you're finished, press the red button. Pressing the red button prompts you to save a CSV file. This file will have the data that you just collected, and tell you whether or not your arm is measuring within the accuracy. Select Save. Review the results, and if necessary, send these in to FARO Customer Service, and they can help you review these and see whether or not the SPAT test is within your limits for your specified equipment. What you've just seen is a check of the mounting stability of the FARO arm and the SPAT test, or the single point articulation test, to verify the accuracy of the FARO arm.